Okay, the pressure is on.
Hi, I'm Norman Tambach, Group CFO of Mashreq. Today it's the 8th of March and that's International Women's Day. And I'm here together with Sahel, my head of investor relations, and Maitha, who is my chief of staff. And I'm going to ask them a couple of questions about women in leadership and what they feel about Women's Day. Before we start, I would like to give a little bit of history from the country where I am from, that's the Netherlands, and how women equality rights evolved then. So women got active and passive voting rights in 1990. It's a long time ago, but still the 1900s. Then in 1957, that was the time when women could do economical transactions without asking permission of their husband. So opening a bank account, cashing a check. They also could continue to work after they were married. Before that, when a woman would marry, it was considered normal and even for a civil servant mandatory to quit your job. Hard to believe at this day and age. Only in 1971, the last piece of legislation in the Dutch law, it was unequal for women. It was the part that women should be obedient to a man and that the man was the head of the family. What can companies like Mashreq do more to support women in leadership positions?
Mashreq does well in that because even in our executive committee, we have 4 members that are women.
One thing that really stood out, the Reignite program, I think is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that there's a program that supports women to re-enter the workforce with training after they've taken a career break to start a family is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's so important because at the end of the day, women are the mothers of the nations.
Well, as Sahel, I'm pretty sure that Hamda, our head of HR, would be very proud that you mentioned her Ignite program. Maitha, I would like to understand a little bit here in the region. Things are of course different than in Europe. Would you tell a little bit about the pace of human equality rights here?
It's different for each country and the pace that they move into women equality and empowerment. But specifically for the region, I would say that we've seen tremendous strides over the past 50 years. Like if you take the UAE, for example, when we were only 3 years old, we established the Women's Union and we continue to establish a lot of projects and initiatives that support women. So I would say that the pace in this region to full women equality has actually rapidly evolved. I've experienced this firsthand and I think you have as well. Like if you think about it, can we believe that now women in the UAE hold 2/3 of all public sector jobs?
It's absolutely incredible. There's this inspirational quote by Her Highness Sheikh Fatma bint Mbarak that says, "The right to equality is a right guaranteed for UAE women." And the way the leadership of the country champions women empowerment, women progression is absolutely phenomenal. There's so many initiatives and laws that have been put in place that actually, showcase that. For example, there's a law that requires listed companies to have women on their boards.
What in your professional career as a woman, what challenges did you had in a world which was still dominated by men?
One thing that struck me throughout my career was the relationship building across genders. And that's something that's, limited to a woman only. I think that goes across both genders. But when you're trying to navigate the nuances of the culture, it's a bit more challenging as a woman. But I would say that has now gone much further than it was before in terms of improvement because women are included in every aspect of decision-making, in every aspect of events, forums that are being held in the UAE. When I started my career many years ago, those challenges were there. It's the perception of how do you build those relationships, how do you build those connections in a business setting.
I will ask Maitha this question. Do you see yourself as a working mother at any point in time in the future?
I mean, I would instantly say yes. And inshallah, one day when I'm married and I have kids, I am going to be a working mother. And I think that comes from me being raised by a mother who showed that strength and emotions can come hand in hand. And she really balanced work and family effortlessly. And that's something that I look up to. And I think that's something that instills in me today. And if I think about it, also, my sister is a working mom. And she always says that for her, it's not about trying to balance or juggle responsibilities. For her, it's about developing policies and programs to support the work-life balance for a happier community. And I agree with that because I think that's the main goal.
What advice would you give to other women maybe who start their career, who are in the beginning in their career? Any advice to share?
Take initiative. Don't shy away from standing up, speaking up, and using your emotional intelligence. So women have natural emotional intelligence. Using that, lean into it and use it to foster a better, more productive workplace, because it does add value, and that's been statistically proven.
I agree with her, and honestly, if I were to give one advice, I would say it's to find your tribe at work and surround yourself with those who uplift you. And if I were to go deeper into that, I would say the most important person within that tribe would be your manager or your mentor. And honestly, it's like they say, you know, the most important decisions of your life is picking your spouse and picking your manager, because they both can have a significant impact in your journey.
Having numbers is also quite good. So having having each other's back is always to uplift and support one another is always
I mean, success is a lot sweeter when you have a support system cheering you on along the way.
Well, thank you, Sahel. Thank you, Maitha, for joining us today.
Happy International Women's Day.